Internship. So let's start with the first day of internship. Right. There are a few questions before we directly jump onto the internship. Like who is eligible for internship and who can attend the program and what participants gain out of this internship. Why this program, what is important, why should I attend this program? If I attend this program, will I get a knowledge of Salesforce or not? And am I eligible to attend this session? Because I have not completed the development, internship, development, admin, or LWC. What are the things do I need it? Now, how does this program goes? So let's understand the basic questions. Let's clarify this. So the first thing is that who is eligible? We have total 53 participants in the class. So almost everybody is having this question. Am I eligible to attend this class? A prerequisite for this Salesforce internship program is you should have a knowledge on admin, development, Apex, Sockle, Social, Lightning Web Component, which is a basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Now, do I need to know end-to-end development? No, we already running the parallelly development LWC, right? So those members, don't worry, I'll be covering both the sides. Whoever is attending my development LWC and the internship, I'll be covering for you guys either here or in the development classes or in the Lightning Web Component classes. Now, the members who are attending for the internship, make sure that you should have a knowledge in admin. Maybe you have taken the course outside. So make sure you are having the full knowledge on the admin development in the development Apex, Sockle, Social, and Lightning Web Component in the Lightning Web Component, including the knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. In case if you do not have a knowledge on LWC, we are currently starting the sessions from, it's already started. 2 sessions are already over. So Monday, again, we are going to start. So check with our team members. So they will guide you on the Lightning Web Component sessions. Even for development, you have done the development part from the outside, the course, or maybe self-learning you did it, but the knowledge which we need here on the different scenarios. If you are still looking for the development course, we already doing the development course and just started 2 days back. So if you are interested, if you are need to recover the development sessions you have attended way back 6 months back, or you don't remember, then I would suggest to attend the development classes, because this internship program will be the more of a scenarios. I'll not give the in-depth information of the courses. So based on the requirement, I'll be talking about it. But if you are looking for an in-depth analysis on the development, I would suggest to join the sessions of the development and LWC component. Now, this is definitely we need a information. If we want to work on this internship, we need the participants should required. We have a 56 participant. All the participants should be having the admin knowledge, development, Apex, Sockle, Social knowledge, Lightning Web Component, basic knowledge of a HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Who can attend the program? If you are currently looking for a jobs, or if you are a Salesforce learner, maybe you have completed the course, now you are looking for a job. Or if you are just learning it, you wanted to get a more hands on the programs, then you can do this. And there are few members who are currently working in the companies on the Salesforce technology, where they wanted to improve the skills on the real-time projects. Let's say I can say Salesforce freshers or Salesforce interns. They just joined the company and they wanted to brush up their knowledge by attending this internship. So these are the different participants we can expect in this session. So job seekers looking for a job, and if you're learning for a Salesforce, and if you're already working in a company and you wanted to improve your knowledge on the Salesforce side, just working on the internship. So which we call it as a interns or a freshers, so they can attend this program. By attending this program, what are you going to gain? What knowledge are you going to get it from by attending this internship? So you will get what kind of a real-time work? What are the real-time work? How do we get a real-time work? So you will get a exposure to the real-time work. That means before joining the company, you will have some good experience on the real-time projects. And also while you are doing the interview, whenever you are attending the interview, they will ask one question. Can you explain the scenario that recently you have worked on? So you can give the scenarios that whatever we have practiced it in the internship. So you will definitely get a exposure to Salesforce real-time work environment, and every participant gain the knowledge on Salesforce real-time tools. In real time, what are the tools that we are going to use? Once I join the company, what are the tools that I need to install in my system? What are the tools that we need it on the cloud? So understanding and how to use those tools, knowledge on the Salesforce real-time tools, you will definitely get a knowledge on this. And also understanding the end-to-end project implementation of every phase that happens in the real time. That means before you start working on it, there are few phases are there. So you will have a complete end-to-end project implementation of all phases. Though you are a developer, but you will get to know that what others are going to work on which one. What are the different phases we will have a before coming to the development. So you will get a good knowledge on end-to-end project implementation of a Salesforce project development for all the phases. So this three definitely you will get a knowledge by attending this course. Definitely will have a real-time work environment and what are the tools that we are using it and how to utilize those tools and when should we utilize the tools. If I wanted to know, like in the project, what all the different activities happens, what are the different phases will be there. So you will definitely get a knowledge on this. Now, the purpose of this program is to enhance your Salesforce skills. Along with you, I'll be also improving my knowledge in these sessions. So enhancing our Salesforce skills and help differentiate yourself in the job market. So that means you can, once you get onto the job market, you will know that what are the questions, how these are the things are asked. You will get that information. By the way, in the meantime, just make sure fill the form. The form is provided in the chart. So if you are attending for the internship and if you are looking for further classes, just make sure please fill the form. Everybody please fill the form so that our team is going to contact you. So by attending this program, we will definitely enhance our skills and we will make ourselves is a different in the job market. That means you will be definitely having a knowledge compared to other training or a learner, Salesforce learners. And it also helps in preparing for the interviews. Whatever the interviews, in the interviews, they will ask sometimes the user stories. Nowadays, the interviews are different. So before, what used to happen is in interview, they used to just ask the definition and the governor limits, how to use it. These are the very basic thing they used to ask in the interview. Now they are asking the user stories. Now I have this requirement. How do you implement this requirement? Right? So those kind of a preparation will be there in the internship where we will be giving the user stories and we will be asking you, how do you implement this kind of a scenario? So it is definitely going to help you for the interview. That is for definitely sure. And how does this program go? So this program work on the different user stories. So we have almost 50 plus user stories. We will be implementing it and these user stories, we will be tracking it within the Jira. One of the tool in the real time, we use it, Jira. Create a user stories or to update the stories. So I'll also teach you how to use a Jira tools and where to create a credentials, how to do this. Everything step by step explanation will be there for all the tools. That is for definitely. So we will be working on the more than 50 plus user stories in the Jira. So where I'll be adding all the stories in the Jira tool and you will be able to access that. And also we'll talk about the deployment, which is a very key phase for the deployment. So how do we do the deployment? What are the tools we will use it in order to do the deployment? Now the question they will ask in the interview, what is the release management tools that you have used it? Release management tools are nothing but deployment tools. What are the deployment tools that you have used it? Git, Chainset, Copado, and Bitbucket. So these are the different tools that mostly used by the companies. Few companies are going to use the Copado, few companies use the Ant, few companies use the Bitbucket, few companies use the Chainset, few companies use the Git.
If you are new batch.
Yeah, so Arun, just specify the new batch. So deployment tools, we will be talking about, we will be creating the each one of the tool. So first we'll talk about the Git, then we will talk about the chain set. Chain set is the out of the box functionality of Salesforce. And next, how to set up a Copado. We will talk about it. And how to set up a Ant migration. Now this ant migration, before the Salesforce deployment, users were using the ant migration, but right now Salesforce is going to deprecate this ant migration. But still, I'm going to talk about how to do the ant migration. Then the next step will be the bit bucket. So I'll teach you the bit bucket as well. So we will be having a free versions. Using that, we will see how to use these tools. So you will get a knowledge on user stories, logical thinking based on the story, how to implement this story. What is your thought process on this? And then deployment tools. What are the different deployment tools? How to use these different deployment tools? And in order to track the stories, what are the different tools that we can use it? So these we will definitely see in the program. Every day we will have to play with one tool. Now, let's see. Now also we will have a end to let's say for example, you join the company. When you join the company, if you wanted to know complete end-to-end phase of the project, you are a developer. Your work is to fix the development. But what happens before the development? What happens after the development? There are so many members are involved in the project. What are their roles? What are they doing it? Like a project manager, right? And then we'll have a scrum master, BA, and architects will be there. So different members will be there in the team. So what are they doing in the project? What are their roles? On which phase they are involved? And how do we get a projects in the company, right? So let's see the end-to-end flow of the project. That means what are the different phases that we have in the project? The first phase of the project is a pre-sales. Pre-sales is before first we will see the steps, then we will talk about each of them. So the first one will be the pre-sales. After the pre-sales, we'll have a discovery phase. And then we'll go to the requirements. We will gather the requirements. If the pre-sale is successful, then only it will go to the discovery phase. If the discovery phase is successful, then it goes to the requirement gathering. So these two are very important, pre-sales and discovery, where we will be working directly with the clients. And next one is we will be gathering the requirement from the clients. Once we have the requirement, we will do the design. And then development team comes into the picture. After that, we'll have a testing team. Once the testing is done, then we'll go to the deployment and maintenance. Maintenance is nothing but a hypercare. Now, let's see each one of them here. Pre-sales. What will be happen in pre-sales? Now, how many phases are there in the project? How many phases are there in the project? What are the project phases? 8. Okay. What are those?
Pre-sales,
Pre-sales,
Discovery,
discovery,
requirements,
requirements,
design,
design,
development,
development,
testing,
testing,
deployment,
deployment,
maintenance.
maintenance. So pre-sales is the first one. If the pre-sales is successful, then we'll go to the discovery phase. If discovery phase is successful, then actual project is starts gathering the requirements. So once we have the requirement, the architect will start designing the solution, then the development, testing, and finally we'll deploy the changes. After that, we'll have a maintenance. So total 8 phases are there in the project. Now in pre-sales, what happens in the pre-sales? What is this pre-sales? Now let's take a scenario. Now you have a Standard Chartered Bank. Okay, Standard Chartered Bank is there. Somebody from the Standard Chartered Bank at the high level, let's say management team, they were just talking about we wanted to implement this kind of a tool. We want to have some automation and we wanted to build some kind of a this to automate it. So they were discussing it. Okay, so when they discussed, so that means they just gave their input. Companies are giving their input. It is just a verbal discussion. Now, after verbal discussion, the company CEO says that, let me do one thing. I'll schedule a call with few members. We will explain what we can do it. Like we can gather the requirement and we will see how can we implement. So that means in the pre-sales activity is a critical phase. Even they will not come as a directly that we want a project. No, they will not say. They will just give a hint to us saying that, okay, this is what we want to implement it. I don't know how to do it because we wanted to automate this entire functionality or whatever the steps we are doing it manually. So we wanted to do that. This discussion will happen very casually, but this is a very critical phase. They discuss as a normal, but it is a critical phase to identify what are the problems are faced by the clients and what are the potential opportunities that we can get and where we can educate the customer. Somebody has explained us the problem. Now that problem, how can I out of that problem? So they explained it some 10 lines of description about the problem. Out of that, we need to identify which part is a critical for client. Identify that and make that, utilize that, whatever they are saying about the problem, utilize that time and give a solution to them like a potential opportunity. They may come, they may not come. But our role is as a company, we should give a some kind of a information. By using this technology or this cloud, we can give you, we can provide you different automation tools, or we will give you the 360-degree customer view in one place. Like that, we need to explain it. It's not at the coding level. It's a very, very, very high level. They will just give you bullet points about the, by using this tool or by using this cloud, what we can implement it. So that means there is an opportunity there that I can bring the project in the company. So that in that opportunity, they will try to sell their technology, sell their whatever the people are there, they wanted to sell that and get that opportunity into the company. So it is basically very critical phase, and this is handled by the CEOs, managers, and project managers. They will be handling it to qualify, to identify and qualify the potential opportunity, and also we will educate the customers. So once this step is done, now after these steps, the customer, the clients, what are the clients are there? The clients will go back and they will discuss. Now in this scenario, what will happen in the pre-sales? What are the activities or what are we doing in the pre-sales? Let's say what are the audience are involved.
CEOs, project managers,
High level member, CEO,
High-level
and project
project
manager.
project managers.
This is from the company side. And now from other side, other party side, who will be involved, company with whom they are discussing about it,
Clients.
clients,
client, clients.
external stakeholders. Right. So stakeholders could be anyone. So what are we discussing here in the pre-sales? What are we trying to get out of this pre-sales?
Identify and qualifying the opportunity.
Identifying the problems of the clients and with that problems, we will be providing the high level company will be providing the
Educating their customers, like selling ourselves.
company will be providing the high level information about the tools. And what are, like, a company has to give what are their experts. Like I can say that we have these experts in our company and we have the 10 certification, we have a experts who are done with the certifications. And we have a experts who has completed the trial head and these many points they have done it. They have to showcase their team in front of the clients. So when we say that I have a 10 members who are already certified this tool, let's say architect members are there. So we can involve those experts in this project in order to build your problem, to automate this problem. And finally, what we will trying to do is trying to get the opportunity. So this utilize this opportunity. Utilize this opportunity and then educate the customers. We need to educate the customers. So final outcome will be they came just with the problem, but we have to leave the customer after we educate. So that means how do we educate the customers or a clients? We will show some kind of a POC, proof of concept. That means which is a POC. There is so for example, let's say here, if you want to buy a product, let's say cosmetics. If you want to buy a cosmetics or some cream or something, so what you will do first, you will try sample on your body, whether it suits for you or not. If it suits for you, then only you will take it, right? Similarly, educating the customers is nothing but we need to show them the sample of the product. It may not be the exact product. We have to show like some kind of a sample. Okay, this is how the sample, this is how the product look like. And we will be having these many options will be there. And if you click on this option, it will open up the page in the same website or maybe in the next tab. And we will try to ask the customers to enter the data. So we have to give them, basically we need to drive them into a sample, how this is working, how this will suits for you. So when we are trying a cream in the malls or shops, so they will give the instruction to us. Now, whether it is suits for you or not, whatever you have a problem, now whether the problem will be by using that product, the problem will be hidden or it will go away, or they will give a different kind of information. Same thing we have to do it in the companies also. We need to educate the customers by providing some kind of a samples to the customers. If you use this application, your half of the problem will be reduced. That is in the release phase 1, we will do it. So once you know how to utilize this product, we can go for the release 2. So like this, we will try to convince the clients, we will try to convince them, use this product so that your half of the work will be reduced. And we have a very easy, this is a very easy to use the Salesforce application. We will try to convince in that pre-sales activity. And the next one is a discovery phase. Once we are done with the pre-sales, the clients will go back to their own work, and they will discuss internally with the different team members. If everybody is satisfied, they say that, okay, maybe we can try with this particular application. Let's give a chance to the company. So when they say, let's give a chance to the company, the next will be the discovery phase. And discovery phase is a foundational step. That means before you do anything, there has to be a strong foundation. We have to implement a connection with the clients. So it's a foundational step in the sales process. It sets the stage for the successful customer. Now, in big MNC companies, or right now, most of the companies, even startup companies also following this. So if before the startup companies were not doing this, but right now everybody is following this step, discovery phase. Because in the discovery step, what we are going to do is we are building the foundational between and successful relationship between the client and a customer by involving the architects there. And this stage is a crucial. If your foundation is strong, then only it will go for the next step. And this is we will get all kind of a requirement, gathering the requirement, what can we do it in the very high level, we will be having a discussion. And in this discovery phase, we will also show them what are the governor limits are there, or what kind of a problems we face it if I go with one direction, if I go with other direction. So let's say I have a two solutions. When we have a two solutions, we need to explain the two solutions to the customers. So these are the two solutions are there. But if I go with a solution one, this is what happens. If I go with solution two, this is what will happen. And here, these are the problems. And in solution two, these are the problems. Now, which one do you prefer? We need to ask the client, because it's a client decision. Based on their decision, because they will be paying the amount there, right? So based on the client decision, we will take a step. And once they take a decision, if we feel that, okay, this is a very difficult to implement, then we'll try to convince the clients to go with the solution one. And there are a lot of discussions will be happen. It will be most of the business people will be involved, business, sales people, marketing team people, service team people, or a technicians. Everybody is involved, because in this phase only we will try to get what is our end-to-end project implementation. Now, what will happen in the discovery phase?
We'll build relationship.
It deals with the end-to-end project.
Build a strong relationship. And what else? Somebody said something, Jyoti.
Dealing, deals with the end-to-end project, dealing about the project when you run.
And
Getting the idea of end-to-end project.
customer engagement and
Customer engagement. Others. What else we do in the discovery phase?
show the governor limits.
We will give all the possible solutions. Provide possible solutions, limits, and also differences between the solutions. Anything for others? Karthik, Prasad. Budgeting of the project. Okay. Budgeting of the project will be done between the discovery and requirement. It is also another phase. So here we need to provide the budget, time and budget. Once the discovery phase is clear, then in between we will have here, there is a slightly one more is available here, time and budget, but there won't be any discussions on this. So time and budget, we will prepare a documentation and we will provide the documentation to the client. There is a Excel sheet or some kind of a document we will provide it to them. So these discussions will happen through the email. These are not a verbal discussions because we are dealing with the budget. When we deal with the budget, if I talk verbally, there are possible that miscommunication happens in the verbal. So that's the reason time and budget will always have a discussion through the email. So that we will have a confirmation documented email regarding the time and budget. Now, once the client is fine with the time and budget, they are perfectly fine. They have said that, sent an email saying that we are approved this time and we have approved this budget. Once it is approved time and budget, then we will go for the requirement phase. The requirement phase will be this phase is basically getting the piece by piece requirement. This is a discovery phase, is a end-to-end project. It is a big one. So in this one, we have some kind of a flows will be there here. Now, these flows, they will be implementing. Now, in this box, what all the activity should be happen? That is the requirement. In this box, what should happen? When we move to this, what is the requirement? So we will capture the each piece by piece till the end of the project. Every step we are going to capture the requirement because this requirement is, it will give the clear definition to the developer. If your requirement is clear, then only the developers or a design, the architect will be able to implement a architecture design. If you do not have a requirement clear, what is the work needs to be implemented? What is the work needs to be implemented? If you want an entire project to be successful, the very key phase is the requirement phase. If you have a requirement phase is correct, that means you have captured the requirement correctly from the client, then only your outcome will be the perfect. Otherwise, your outcome will say that, okay, developer says that as per the requirement, I have implemented. Testing people will say that, okay, as per the requirement, I have tested. Now, everybody is depending on the requirement. So this phase is a critical it's a starting phase of the project. Now, from here, everybody will be seeing even developers also see these phases. Now, previous phases, they might not see, developers might not see, but from here, everybody able to see, even testers, deployment, maintenance team, everybody will be know that requirement phase. So this requirement phase is nothing but what is the work that needs to be completed by end of this project. That means, which is a scope of work, what type of a requirement. Let's say what type of a requirement is nothing but, let's take a small example, a school or a institute or a college. So somebody came for the requirement to implement some tool for the tracking the information of a university. Let's take a university. For university, we want to build the application. For university, what are the requirements that we needed? First, inquiry now. So inquiry now button. When I click on this button, what should happen? Gather the requirement. When I click on inquiry requirement, how the page should be look like? What are the fields needs to be displayed here? And when I click on a submit button, what should happen? That is another requirement. Building a page is a one requirement. If I click on a submit button, what should happen? Which object the data should be captured? That is another requirement. The requirement is nothing but, let's say, simple example. Okay, you have a maybe some function is happening at your home, or maybe let's say get together. Your friends or you are meeting the get together. So when you meeting the get together or when you are doing some function, the work will be distributed to the each member. Now, how do you define the work there? Because in order to make this that get together or a function to be successful, you need to first note down what are the work needs to be completed and which time it should be completed, when should be the lunch, and what are the different activity. You will define the work, right? So once you define the work, you feel that, okay, this looks good and we are not missing any requirement there, any work there. So if we are missing any requirement, so we will be adding in between during the function. So first we will define the work that needs to be completed on that day. If everybody satisfied this work, okay, these are the steps that we have to do, right? So then only we will start as per the work, we will start the day of the function or get together. Similarly, in the project also, in order to make the project successful, what are the work needs to be done is captured in the requirement. So each work will be the one requirement. Implementing a enrollment form, one requirement. If I cancel it, where it should be redirected, that is another requirement, one work. So every work will be captured here. And these requirements is nothing but it's a scope of work. What is the work needs to be completed by end of this project? What are we doing it in the requirement phase?
Defining the work.
Defining the work or scope of work.
Developer testers are able to see the
See the,
requirement phase.
okay.
A critical and starting phase of the project.
Critical
Objectives are
and starting phase of the project. Gathering the
objectives are
details.
clearly defined to
Sorry,
developers. Objectives are clearly defined to the developers or testers.
objectives are clearly
Defined.
defined for developers and testers. Gathering the requirement, gathering the details, information,
Analyzing the requirement.
sorry, organizing the,
Analyzing the
Analyzing
requirement.
analyzing the,
requirements.
Requirements.
analyzing the requirements. Okay. Fine. So these are the steps we will be doing it in the requirement phase. So based on this requirement phase, the design, the architect team, the solution architect or a technical architect, again, it will be involved in order to draw the complete picture of the project, which is a blueprint of the software solution. The flow, the continuous flow, how the flow should be executed. So they will draw the blueprint of the software solution, or it could be a roadmap. This, based on this roadmap, by looking at this roadmap, so what developer will be doing is, developer will be look at the requirement and the blueprint of the design. Now this will give the clarity to the developers. It's kind of a roadmap to the developer who, as per the requirement and as per the design, what I can implement in this particular requirement. Because the requirement says that just create a form. But before that, what was there, and after this, what is there? If I implement a form, now this form, when it should be open, that is the previous requirement. Now, if you want to understand, you cannot open the previous requirement after this requirement. What is the after requirement? You cannot open. So that time what you can do is you can open the blueprint. In the blueprint, it says that open the website and go to the, maybe let's say about me. Go to the about me and then click on here enrollment button. And after clicking on this enrollment button, open the form. And here we will have a condition. So if the form is filled successfully, that means if it is submitted, then create a record in the object. If it is not successful, then it should be redirected back to the about me. So this is the flow is design team will be implementing this flow. Now you have a requirement, just this part is there. But what is there before this part? What are the activities are happening? After this, what are the activities are happening? If you wanted to know, so usually what development do is development team take the requirement, along with the requirement, what is the design that is implemented for this requirement will give the clarity that how to implement a very good code or how to implement this requirement without any problem. So combination of these two will have the information to the developers. So design is nothing but it's kind of a blueprint or it kind of a design that will give the or a roadmap which will give the developers to follow or a tester to follow during the implementation or during the testing. They can go through this design page, design blueprint. Now, what are the activities are happening in the design?
Drawing a sketch of the project.
Sketch of the project. Blueprint.
Developers or testers follow the implementation of the project, rules and regulations.
Guidance for developers and testers. Right. In the meantime, guys, please fill the form. If you have not filled the form, please fill the form. And now, once the design team is done, now the development is comes into the picture. Development team is the vision is to whatever the design and the requirement is there. So based on that, they will be implementing the solution by using the code. Whatever the solution is there, that solution has to be implemented by implementing the working code. Now, what we will be, you all are developers, right? So you must be knowing it, what we need to do in the development. So what we will be doing in the development phase,
Coding, building,
building the code, writing the business logic,
Customizing the requirement.
customization,
Also some of configuration.
checking the
Configuration.
configuration, data modeling, develop the flow
Data migration.
of requirement. Now, optimization. Deployment does not come into the development phase. Import and export the data, yeah,
Data migration.
which is it,
Automation.
data migration,
Automations.
automations. So these are the different activities that done by the development team. Once the development team is done implementing the code, then the development team will pass it to the testing team. Now, team is, they will make sure that whatever the requirement it says and the design, as per the requirement and design, does this application or does this software is working perfectly fine? Is there any performance issues? Or they will make sure the testing team only focused is the quality of the software, reliability of the software, and performance of the software. These three things they will make sure. If they see that, okay, there is a performance is high, quality is not good, it does not look good, the UI part of it, we cannot rely on this software. So their focus is quality, reliability, performance. If these three are perfect, then they will pass that story. Otherwise, they will reject it. If any of the issue is there, they will reject it. So testing team main focus is ensuring the quality, reliability, and the performance of the software solution before it is released to the production or before it is released to the customers or clients. Now, what is the testing team does here? In testing phase, what are the activities will happen?
checking the code as per the requirements,
Testing the code as per the requirement. Performance testing. Performance of the software, yeah, bugs, they will create it. Quality, they will check quality of the code or the quality of the software. What else we can do in the testing? We'll also test in the, not only in the desktop version. So testing team will test the functionality in desktop version and mobile with the different versions. Mobile with different version, does it support or not? Everything they will verify it. So you are implementing the code just by looking at the requirement, but the testing team will check with all the different Chrome versions. Is the application is working in the Chrome, or is the application is working in the, what is this?
checking on
Microsoft.
different
So different versions they will check. Does it support or not? Now, once this is done, if testing team says that yes, this software is quality is good, we can rely on this software and performance is good. So once they give the approval, then the next step will be the deployment. Deployment is a very critical stage in entire project because up to here we were working on everything in our own sandboxes. Now we are moving to the production. If something goes wrong in the production, clients are going to shout on us. Because you have taken 6 months of period or a 3 months of period to implement this and nothing is working here in the production. So that's the reason it's a deployment is a critical stage in entire software development life cycle. That marks the transition from the development to production. Whatever you have done here, once you deploy to the production, client only look at how the UI is working, how the screens are looks like, what is the backend code they will not see, what is the automation that you have implemented they will not see. Is my UI and screens are looking fine or not? Is my flow is working as per the expected or not? The functionality flow is working as per the expectation or not? So that's the reason deployment is a very critical stage in the entire software development life cycle that marks the transition from the whatever the development we have done from the development to the production. Now, what are the activities that can be done in the deployment phase? Deploying the changes,
End-to-end flow,
to production. And once we move the changes to the production, again, we will test it. End-to-end flow, we will test it. Test end-to-end flow. SDLC is software development lifecycle. Whatever you are implementing it from the beginning, the software, whatever the software you are implementing it with the help of developer, software development, the entire life cycle will be in entire life cycle. The critical part is a deployment part. And what are the tools that we can use it in the deployment? We have discussed already. What are the tools that we can use it in the
Git, Genset,
Git and
Bitbucket,
Copilot.
Git
and Method tool,
and
Genset.
Pado, Inset,
Chains, Bitbucket,
Bitbucket. Have a other one is source tree. Source tree also few companies use it. These are the different. And also we have a DevOps. By using the DevOps also we can move it. Now, these are the different ways that we can deploy our changes by using these tools from the sandboxes to the production. Once it move the production, we will do the end-to-end testing. And we will give it to the clients. Up to here, we are done. We will provide it to the clients. We will provide it to the clients. And clients will test it. They will start working on this application. While working on this application, clients sometimes they will see the issues. So whenever the client is facing the issue, we need to give a support to them, which is a maintenance, or after the deployment, after the production, we also have a hypercare. Hypercare is nothing but it's a 2-week support we will give. After deploying the changes to the production, it is called hypercare. In hypercare, we will say that if you have any problem, our team is standby for 2 weeks. You can raise the issue. We will fix it in these 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, if the client wants to continue with us, then what they will do is they will give us the support work or a maintenance work. That means this is maintenance is basically ensuring that the long time relationship with the customers or clients, just make sure that we are still maintaining the relationship with the customers, and along with that we can get more projects from the clients, maintain the existing relationship by supporting the project. What are the production work is there to support the production work, as well as we can bring the new work from this client. What is the maintenance here? What are the activities that can be done in the maintenance?
Maintain the relationship by supporting them.
Hypercare is another one. Hypercare is immediately after production. We will have either 1 week or a 2 week support for the client. And the next maintenance is nothing but providing the continuous support. This is additional cost. Providing the continuous support for the production issues. So this hypercare is a free for the customers. Now, after moving the changes to the production, we will give a 2 weeks, my team is available, which is a free for them. After 2 weeks, if they are still looking for a support, then we will go for a maintenance for providing the continuous support for the product issues. This will be chargeable. So these are the different project phases of the any project. You take any project, maybe it is a smaller project or a bigger project, whatever the project is there, these phases are mandatory. Now, if you know this, every individual phase, when you are working it, you will imagine that what will happen next, everything you can imagine, and it is easy to work, right? So that's about the today's session. We have discussed about the few things internship. So these are the different project phases. Any questions on the project phases? Is everybody understood the project phase?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Amar, you have not understood? What was the phase that you have not understood? Okay. Okay. Question. Explain all different phases in 2 to 3 lines. This is the homework. Work 2. Take any scenario or problem statement and explain different phases of work and problem statement execution. Phase and what is the final output? What is the final output? Of the production. These two are the homework, and also this is a project. Okay, so in this project, currently I'm giving only the story 1. So the story 1 is, this is just a sample 1. Let's say here's Swapna IT service company hired you and asked to provide platform for a client to run their business efficiently. This is the problem statement. Before you proceed, create a new org internship work-in, and client wants, what are the client is expected is flexible app. They want a flexible app to customize themselves easily. And they are looking for can be used for any location. And also clients are looking for it should be in the cloud. And clients is asking that flexible in payment format and no infrastructure load. There should not be any load on the infrastructure. And whatever the deployments are there should be quick deployment. Now here project management statement is provide some information to your client how Salesforce can help them. This is at the starting phase, like a pre-sales, right? So you need to provide the information to the client, how Salesforce is going to help them with the Salesforce features and target to get this project process get approved. So now you are playing a role of the pre-sales. Now in this first project, the assignment 1, project 1, the story 1, so you are playing a role of this pre-sales. If you are in a pre-sales and you are in front of the client doesn't know anything about the Salesforce. Now you need to explain the Salesforce, help them to understand the Salesforce features, and target to get this project process get approved. So you need to get a approval from the client by providing like what kind of a information you will provide in order to convince the client so that they can say that, okay, we are approved it. So you need to write down some 8 to 10 key points. So this is the story number 1 in the project work. So like this, we have a different project stories are there in this project work. We have a different stories are there. Each story we will talk about, like we have a up to 34 stories are there. So going further, we will see all these 34 stories. But now I'm just giving this first one. Now you have to convince the client to give, you need to give some information about the Salesforce in 8 to 10 key points, or could be a more, how it is going to help them in order to achieve their work, and how can you convince the client to get this approved. Yeah, this is the first story.
Ma'am, no infrastructure load means it's like the page should load. I didn't get that.
Which one page should load? Which one you are talking
No,
about?
no infrastructure load.
So basically you think as a performance load. Like there should not be a load on the page. It should be simple and straightforward. Like if they are opening up any page, like a Salesforce page, if I click on the lead page, okay. So if I click on this lead page, or if I clicking on the new button, at the back end, there is a lot of load is happening. That should not happen. No, they can be able to open that page, which
Okay,
are the
got it.
out of the box functionality. Yeah.
So we need to write 8 to 10 key points, how we can explain them, right?
Yeah, so we need to explain it 8 to 10 key points, and we need to write down that. Is everybody able to do this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we'll try.
How about others? Tavish, Mutri.
Ma'am will be creating an org in the trailer for the work story.
So this one, right now, this is leave it. For next class, we will see creating the new org for internship work. This we will do it. But the question here is, this is the main question, and clients are looking for this. Now, how do you convince the client to go with the Salesforce?